Now you may be thinking, I've seen this before, and that's because it's based on prophecy. Hyundai's concept car, the IONIQ 6, Hyundai's flagship car. To start with, it's built on EGMP, so vehicles like the Kia EV6, the IONIQ 5. You can really see the versatility. This is dubbed the electric streamliner. There's so much packed into it. 800 volt architecture, meaning you can get 80% in around 18 minutes. Now when I first saw it, I thought, ooh, that's a bit different, especially when you compare it to IONIQ 5. But it's superb in every possible way. This turned heads wherever we went. One thing that makes it stand out is the parametric pixels, and they're throughout the car. They're even on the steering wheel. Emotional efficiency. Well, what exactly does that mean? And to get to the bare bones of it, it means you get feelings whilst driving it. You get feelings whilst looking at it. Lots of people just came up and questioned it. Oh, what's this do? How long does it take to charge? Is it fully EV? Will it tow? You know, all these answers, I was like, yes, 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 yes. I mean, we'll go a bit deeper into things like towing later on in the video. And if you want to see how it reacts on a road trip, well, watch the EV trail and you'll be amazed. We did, I think it was around 18 miles and used 3 miles of range. That's phenomenal. Granted, I wasn't in sport. You put it in sport and you will watch the range drop. But essentially, you've got an all-wheel drive racing car. Dual motors, 325 brake horsepower, 74 kilowatt motor at the front and 165 kilowatt motor at the rear. It's agile, it's nimble, it handles like it's on rails. It does not scramble for grip, but when you come out of a junction, it knows not to just literally floor it so you go around in circles or do some kind of power drift. Instead, it gives you a linear acceleration. So as you come out, you can floor it and it will just and then go. I had a bit of rear wheel spin coming out of some of the junctions, but I was really planting my foot to see what it would do. And at no time did it come unhinged. The thing is, it can still pull 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. And it's not squirrely, it just literally gone. It really is that good. EGMP makes the most out of an electric chassis. It doesn't eat into any of the cabin space. It makes the vehicle feel grounded. It's so versatile. SUV, saloon, you name it. Prices, 70 grand? No. This one's just under 56, and that includes the paint and the digital mirrors. You think of EVs and think, oh yeah, I'm going to pay the earth. But just look how much car you get for the money. I think the cleverest trick from Hyundai is the fact that you can get the 5 or the 6. So you can get modern, futuristic, emotional design, or you can get old school, retro chic. They've ticked both boxes and essentially offer the same thing. Yes, this is more advanced. It uses regen, using radar, from the cars in front. So it's efficient, even in adaptive. Now you might be thinking, 56, ooh, yeah, it's still over 50 grand. Well, believe it or not, the prices actually start under 50 at 47,000. Now that's for a premium. This is an ultimate and there was a first edition too. It's blown us away. Quite literally. I didn't expect that after 5. 5 just stole my heart. As for a warranty, you get 5 years. Now the looks, they're not going to appeal to everybody. And that's one thing we did find. There was a clear line. You either love IONIQ 5 or IONIQ 6. This is far more futuristic. It's sleek, it's sporty. It's essentially Grand Coupe. Also, some of the design language. I mean, to be honest, I think the rear looks a little Porsche, which is never a bad thing. Especially when you look at the parametric pixels and the light bar. Now I'm heading to the back. What I need to do is concentrate on the front. It really connects with me. And if I start looking deeper, I'll see, whoa, the way this illuminates. And the way you've got this curvature. No clamshell bonnet, but really wide front wings. It's just sleek styling. And these open up to make it more efficient. Co-drag efficiency, I think, is 0.25. Essentially just doesn't use range. It's sorcery. But that's modern electric cars. They're cleverly designed. The sculpture, the sloping bonnet, the big windscreen, also that massive sunroof. Now interestingly, it's not the full width of the glass. But it's a clever way of making the roof look really sporty, especially when it opens. It's so sleek. You can certainly see elements of prophecy. The shaping round here, it's minimalist, yet complemented by things like 20-inch wheels. Because that's it, you think of a 20 and think, wow, that's a big wheel. But when you put low profiles on it, which offer a surprisingly firm yet comfortable ride, nothing looks oversized. The proportions are great across the car. And it's not just the design, the tech is seriously advanced. For a start, you've got adaptive lights. They're automatic, they're LED, adaptive cruise, collision detection, collision mitigation, AEB, evasive steering, numerous sensors, radar, you name it. Parking sensors, front camera. The bird's eye view is perfect for parking. There's nothing in there I thought, oh, I wish I had that. Now you don't have to go for these, but I would. Now people are like, oh, you could knock them off, or they don't give you as much vision. To be honest, they do. Door handles that present themselves. Love it. Look at that for wide opening. Oh. No door handle. Well, that's how it appears at first glance. But it's just one giant door handle. Padded. You've got memory function for your seat. And a Bose sound system that wouldn't look out of place in your house. In the slim door pocket. Getting in, child's play. No grab handle. And take note, this is set for me at 6'3". That'll come in handy when you look in the rear. It's full of recycled materials, not that you could tell. There's a bit of a stigma when it comes to using sustainable sources. Like, oh, do I really want my seats made out of plastic bottles? Well, looking at these, yes. They use vegetable oil, they use things like marine waste for the car mats, paper machette for the door cards, and it's as premium as you could get. It really is. Solid build quality, proper buttons, rotaries, and that's where you can see your mirror. It works really well. Yeah, it might not be something you've looked at before, but it's certainly worth taking a look at. Fully electric seats, height adjustment too, lumbar, all singing and dancing. No massage, bit gutted. And design language, clean, minimalist, yet futuristic. But not to a point that it's overwhelming. I can open my charging flap, the power tailgate, disable traction control, electronic handbrake, and you can power fold your cameras, which is perfect because this is a wide car. And also, like a mirror, I can adjust them. The shifter, well, column shift. Drive, neutral, reverse, and park. Straightforward and simple to use, and it displays which gear you're in here. Shift by wire. The first thing I thought, where's the Hyundai badge? Morse code. See? Another thing that's just, wow. They've just pushed the boundaries on each part of this car. Flat bottom steering wheel, great feel. Buttons here for your adaptive cruise, your media, and the important one, drive modes. Normal, sport, and eco. And to be honest, I spent most of my time in eco. Yes, obviously the odd blip in sport. But eco will do pretty much everything. It'll even give you decent acceleration. It's just not quite as... Now if you're tall like me, reaching for this isn't a problem. But if you're a bit shorter, say Annabelle's height, it might be easier to keep the door, say, here. That was a decent clunk. Also, the door's not too heavy. So just look at every part of the car and think, wow, the mood lighting. And there's 4,000 combinations. So you can listen to crackling fires. You can listen to streams. The parametric pixels, once again, they're throughout the interior. The minimalist design with the vents, meaning no dust traps. A mix of premium materials throughout. This is like a soft rubbery feel. Everything's intuitive, everything's easy. You've got the big screen that you saw in the EV6. So you've got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, DAB radio, navigation, lots of apps. And you can go in and set a myriad of settings. It's easy to use, it's responsive. There's lots of things you can do with the infotainment system. The cluster, very straightforward. And it's easy to see when you're regenning, putting power down, and see safety. So you can see things like your road sign recognition. And it doesn't just tell you your speed, it also shows you say what the next hazard is or what it deems as the next road feature. For example, sharp bend. That also displays in the heads-up display. Oh yeah, did I mention we've got heads-up display. Now the one thing that got me the first time I drove a Hyundai, it could have been the Genesis actually, was the way that the blind spot detection worked. It doesn't just display here, it displays there and there. So you can see at every point where the car is, and it just makes it so much safer on a motorway. When you indicate, your camera view displays in the cluster. Now, if you've not experienced that, it's a damn good feature. And this, it's always got your back. For example, when somebody walked across behind me the other day, this all of a sudden started flashing red, and then the steering wheel started vibrating. And I checked the cameras, and I could see a little old lady walking past with a buggy. There's a lot of thought gone into this interior. For example, easy to reach cup holders, USBs, and also the floating centre bit. Many manufacturers put things like USBs and other types of things that you just can't reach down there. It looks clean, but it's just not that practical. The fact that you've got one 12 volt, I prefer that. Full width armrest with decent storage, an extra cubby hole here. Proper buttons. None of these haptic sensors, which is nice. Wireless charger, and everything is intuitive. It's easy to use. Rotaries, proper buttons for the media center. You can even disable your parking sensors. I like the plus and the minus on the pedals. It's just clever. It's quirky, and that's always going to appeal to me. It's like the addition of colour on this seat. These are slimline, they're comfortable, they're supportive, they're heated and ventilated and operated through the screen. And it's nice and simple, and they work extremely well. They kept us cool to the point that we didn't need windows down or even air conditioning. 6'3", headroom, no problem. But I can drop elements of my seat. So the front drops, and then you can lift up the whole seat or the back, and etc. Hours of fun. But it means you can get the perfect position. I mean, just look at the legroom. One feature that really stands out on the IONIQ range, the drawer glove box. Love it. Let's take a look in the back. I almost forgot. You've got a decent footrest there and a tilt and slide sunroof. And I can't forget the auto dimming mirror. If you like this type of video, why not subscribe to the channel? You just hit the button on the right hand side. It's free and you'll get an alert every time we upload. Also, if you do like the video, why not give it a like? It all helps and it means we can get more cars. Thank you. The colour scheme really works, and I'm at arguably the best angle of the car. The side's such an interesting one. You've got the clean lines down the doors. Now normally you'd see grooves for airflow, but on this you can see curvature and then the flow that allows the air to rush up the side, not only making it efficient but allowing it to become anchored to the ground too. Discs all round, and yes, the brakes work extremely well. You've also got an auto hold system. Now I'm looking at that and thinking, that's got to compromise headroom, hasn't it? We'll take a look in a second. First, charging. Numerous ways to open it. Key, button there, or just pressing the button here. 800 volt architecture, meaning I think it's around 65 miles in 5 minutes, which is quite mind-blowing. And then 80% in around 18. That can't be right. Can it? EVs are getting faster and faster, and with infrastructures like that, it's not surprising. I would have liked to see the IONIQ 5's flashing lights here, but this, nice and straightforward, easy to read, and a decent door flap. And, ta-da! You can also V2L. No wonder it sticks to the road so damn well. Pirelli P0s. Now look at that for a wide opening door. That's like limo spec. It's nice to see the rear door cards finished as well as the front. And I can see I've got a heated seat. Bose speaker. Everything's integrated so well. Climbing in. Well, child's play. I do have to dip my head a little bit. But that comes with the territory in, say, a coupe. And such a fastback looking coupe at that. Now, if I lean right back, my hair does brush. But if I'm low enough in my seat, like this, and I am comfortable, It is doable at 6'3". Grab handle and interior rear light. This is a nice touch, the full width rear mat. Decent foot room, leg room. And because there's no transmission tunnel, it feels very open. It's interesting to see an EGMP model without the vents here. Instead, they're in the centre console. But when you look at the flow of the interior, that makes sense. It's comfortable, you've got supportive seats, it's airy, it's roomy, everything's finished well. You can see the mood lighting, integrated speakers. Not the biggest door pocket, but it'll store a drink. Also adjustable seat belts. Airbags around the vehicle. Despite the sloping window line here, I've still got great visibility. There's a lot of thought gone into this. I just wish there was a grab handle above the driver's door. Isofix points and a pull down armrest. That's the thing. If I sink a little lower in my seat, it's perfectly fine. But it depends how you like to sit in a car. I like to sit quite low slung. If you sit right upright, then my hair does brush. It is a beautiful interior. Lots of light comes in as well, because you've got the extra window here, and it's a big rear window. Now, depending on how you look at this, this could be a boon or it could be a challenge. I can move this seat. I can even change the angle. And the height. It would have been nice to see this padded, but I can understand why it isn't, because this is the bit that you'll brush across. Also, that's a nice touch. Also white seat belts. Such a clean look. Let's take a look at the back. The rear. Parametric pixels once again. And what a light show. Full width light bars here and here. And I do love this rear spoiler. High level brake lights. And the rear just looks so sporty. This chunky, it just gives it presence. It combines curvature with sharp sculpting. And I think that's what mostly appeals. You've even got a mini ducktail spoiler. These design elements with the extra colour make it really stand out. There's no way you could look at this car and go, well, it's boring. It's just the complete polar opposite. In a word, it engages your senses from every angle. And finished neatly with IONIQ 6. Tech, as advanced as the front. LEDs, so you've got the 360 camera, cross traffic alert, parking sensors, and finally, power tailgate. And this is a rapid opening boot. And just take a look at its angle. I didn't expect it to open that much. It means gaining access is simplicity. Yes, it's not the highest boot, but it is quite deep. It's interesting to see a boot lip as well in an electric car. But to be honest, we've got all our luggage in there for our adventure away, camera gear and extra bags, just in case the Lake District decided to change its weather. Which it did. Dropping the seats is nice and easy. You just literally pull this. That releases, and then it's as simple as that. Now yes, I wouldn't get the EMTB in here, but I would get, say, a snowboard, skis, surfboard. So that's something. Type 2 cable, and if you lift the carpet, oh wow, that's really light. I didn't realise I thought it was actually attached. Oh well. Tire mobility kit and a home charger. No extra storage. That's interesting. Unlike the IONIQ 5, these don't lock in place. Now it doesn't lay entirely flat, and there is a lip. And I can see why they've not used a false floor, because otherwise it would just limit the boot space so much. But that's the challenge with the Saloon. No tethering points and no shopping bag hooks, but you do have a boot light. Now I can shut the tailgate, or I can press this one. And that shuts the tailgate as well as locking the rest of the car. To release the bonnet, you just pull this. Now I'm expecting a couple of things. A frunk and struts. Perfect. 2 for 2. And we have a micro frunk. It's illuminated. If you've noticed, when this drops, it keeps everything nice and safe. I did expect a lid though. Oh well. Nice and easy to see where to top up your fluids, and it's nice and easy to shut the bonnet. We're just heading under the crag, and and then we'll join the M6 at Carnforth. We've got the ventilated seats on. Lovely.
We're going to get off at junction 36, which is just coming up here.
We're on the trail.
We're off! 16 miles to Windermere. Somebody heading to the lakes?
Yeah. That's the thing about the Lake District. There's so many things to do. Who needs a driving section when you've got an EV trail? Click the link to see how the IONIQ 6 fared on our adventures into the Lake District. Thanks for watching.